All right, welcome to the Insurance Stream. I'm your host, Dave Bowling, here today with Zach Franz of ePay Policy. They are the payment processor for the insurance industry, and we're happy to have you guys on today. Thank you so much for taking the time to come by. But we're going to talk about, simplifying an agency's accounting today. And, you guys are a new sponsor here on the podcast, so we appreciate that. Capital Premium Finance just came on as our premium finance sponsor, and then we learned
Love Cap Premium.
Yeah, well, we learned because I was talking to them. I'm like, oh no, there could be a potential conflict here because we were talking, and I was like, well, ePay Policy is our payment processing sponsor, and they were like, that's perfect because that's who we use, that's who we integrate with. I was like, man, doesn't get much better than that. So
folks over there at Capital Premium,
they're great, yeah. And if you ever got a $2 bill at a convention, that was where it came from, was Capital Premium Finance.
I do. Unfortunately, I always end up tipping those back to some of the bartenders at the shows and stuff because it's the only cash I have. But yeah, I've been holding on to one for about 2 months in my wallet now.
That's funny. Yeah, we were in at the Hawksoft user group down in I think that was in Austin.
That was in Austin. That's in our backyard, man. We love those guys too. And I actually think that's where the $2 bill in my wallet came from. Was the
Hawksoft user group? Yeah, that's
national this year.
Yep, yeah. We were getting our car and getting ready to go back to the airport, and the valet guy tipped him, and he pulled out his wallet, and there was a stack of $2 bills in there, and I was like, I know where that came from. So let's take it back to the beginning real quick here. How did ePay Policy come to be?
Well, we started in 2014. I was not here at that time, but it was started by a couple guys. One named Todd Sorrell and another named Millen Malkani. Millen, just a brilliant coder and developer. Todd Sorrell kind of came up in the insurance space, owned a premium finance company, I believe still does. And so they actually met at a kid's birthday party, funny enough. So they got to talking, and Todd was explaining to Millen just, hey, I have this issue in my business trying to collect these payments. Here's why. The fees are a nightmare. The accounting's hard to deal with, and it's really just a slow, mangled process by checks in the mail. And so they came up with a solution actually for themselves. They built it for Todd's premium finance company. And then another one of Todd's friends who owned a premium, he was like, hey, can I actually use this too? That's really great. And then they realized kind of the massive scale and application of what we do here. And it's blossomed into, it became the business.
That's great. So, and that's really the special thing, is built for insurance, right? Because I know when I owned an agency, that was one of the difficult things, is we had to go through, I think it was this is way back in the day, with Authorize.net, and then there was one of the I think it was called Flagship or something like that. And I don't even know. It was a nightmare every time we had to get on the phone with them because I never knew who they were. And it was 2 or 3 layers of different companies that I had to call to address any issue. So I fully feel the struggle, and that was probably around that same time frame that they were we need to do something here because it was rough. And then we got onboarded actually with our agency got onboarded with, I think it was Stripe or Square or something like that, and then they ended up kicking us off because they were like,
I was gonna say they 3 Article 17 I think from Square is unsupported industries insurance, and we've heard exactly stories like that all the time. Lost payment,
and they started I didn't read. You go through, and it's kind of like the iTunes terms and conditions, right? You just scroll the bottom, click agree.
Wait, you don't read those 100%, Abe?
No, I don't. I'm just kidding. So we got on and we started processing payments, and then all of a sudden we're left high and dry, where it's like, okay, now who do we process payments through? So that was a big problem, and then so. This, I'm guessing, had something to do with that too, because it's a bunch of unsupported, and they said it was high risk. I'm like, how is insurance premium payments high risk? I don't understand that. But
I think the compliance issue is something that those folks want to stay away from too. All the compliance and regulations with insurance. And that's where you want a solution specifically tailored for insurance, not one of those generic folks that it's kind of like taking your payments with Venmo or something. And that's just not what you need to do.
So let's fast forward to today, because really the bottom line is we got a whole bunch of insurance agency owners listening, and how does this help them? Let's say they're using one of the Authorize.nets, or they're using one of the other. I know you guys integrate with Capital Premium Finance, you integrate with Hawksoft, you have all sorts of these industry integrations, and so that's handy, right? That right there is huge to move, right? But let's zoom out from that for a minute and talk about the platform. Talk about how do you guys make life easier for insurance agency owners as far as the surplus payments, the excess, the stuff like that they're not processing through the carrier's platform, like your Progressives and things like that, like where you just take a payment and issue the policy right in the system. This is for those other payments, clearly. But what do you do? What's your guys' special sauce that makes life easier on the agency owner?
Well, we've got a few secret sauces.
Right.
I think if you want to take the 10,000 foot view and really oversimplify it, we help agencies bind business. We speed up receivables so that agencies can bind business faster. And it goes beyond agents. It's any part of the insurance industry. If you're taking funds that are hitting your bank account before being sent on to the carrier, MGA, then ePay can help you out and we'll speed up those receivables. We do that in a few different ways. We solve if again we're going 10,000 foot view here, there's kind of three main pain points I like to focus on. It's checks in the mail, the process of manually reconciling payments, and then not having integrated payment options are the three main pain points that we solve for our customers. Okay. And our secret sauce is those integrations. So I was telling you earlier, kind of before we started the recording, what separates ePay from everybody else out in the space there is our depth of integrations. So we have integrations with all of the management systems at the premium finance company level, agency level, MGA, wholesaler, carrier, and obviously at the independent agency level as well too. And that allows us to push these reconciliation details back into the management system so that we can eliminate a lot of the human error that goes on during that process. I don't know about you, but I don't like going spreadsheet to spreadsheet to spreadsheet back and forth from screens to try and manually reconcile and find payments in my system. I like a service that'll just speed that up and do it all for you.
Right.
So,
go ahead.
Oh, the oversimplification is we help agencies speed up their receivables to bind business faster.
Sure. So let's say that I'm an agency owner. My premium finance company is Capital Premium Finance. My payment processing is ePay, and my client management system is Hawksoft. Walk me through, like I take a payment from, Franz Construction. And so I take your $1,000 down payment. What does that flow look like from one to the other with you?
So with us, we actually don't have our two-way integration finished up with Hawksoft yet. So the manual reconciliation would still be a part of that process. Very exciting news is we are in deep conversations with their development team now, and we're hoping to have something by the end of the year that meets those needs for two-way integration. But so to take that payment right now, let's say you said $1,000 payment.
Mm-hmm.
So what we would do is we would take that payment, and this is today. There's a really cool version of this that comes in a few months, but today we would you go to ePay Policies payment page here, and you would type in the amount that you owe. It's $1,000. You can choose credit card or ACH, pay right there online, and then what we do is we process the entire amount. So that transaction, that $1,000, and then whatever fees are associated with that transaction. Since ePay is a third party, we can pass those transaction fees on to the payer within compliance. So it's never incurred at the agency or MGA level unless you want to. But a lot of folks don't want those coming out of their commission, so we'll push those along. And then we simply net fund you the amount that you requested on the invoice or quote. And then those funds drop right into the account you're choosing in just a few business days.
Okay. And then, so the integration with Capital Premium Finance, walk me through that.
Yes, that is the really exciting version of this payment process that's coming here in just a few months. We're currently working on our Finance Connect product. Capital Premium's expressed some huge interest in it. They're going to be one of our first folks that we get going and lit up on that. But ePay Policy is actually entering the financing presentment space now. So what we're going to do is, like I was telling you, we got all these premium finance company customers. What we want to do is just connect those folks to their agencies. So ePay is not going to do any of the financing, and we're not going to create like a marketplace where there's 10 premium finance options on one page. What we're going to do is allow you to connect to your existing premium finance company. So in this case, Cap Premium. So that way, since we're integrated with Cap Premium system and with your system, we know the details about your insured. When that insured gets on our page and types in some credentials to log in or just tell us who they are, then we can query Capital Premium's system to get information on potential quotes and things that we can display for that insured, what quotes that insured would qualify based on the invoices that are in your system. We do this all in real time, by the way, so that long story short, there's financing options by Capital Premium presented right on your ePay Policy page as another option if you didn't want to pay in full.
Sure. So that's really cool. So it's different terms, different carriers, or all the above?
Yes. So it's going to be different folks, different kids. Obviously, we got to establish kind of a minimal acceptable threshold for these things so that we can do this in real time. But really what it means for the insured is the option to enroll in financing at the time of purchase,
Yeah.
which, as well as I do, financing is becoming a more and more attractive offer these days with the way that things are going up.
Yeah.
Premium prices are rising. So folks, I mean, even you go on Amazon now, right? And they do have a little checkout, like, do you want to do $100 or you want to break this out in 4 payments?
Right. Yeah. So now walk me through, because some of the client management systems you guys probably already are integrated with, it sounds like. I'm sure you will with Hawksoft. They're doing Hawksoft 6 right now, so their developers are working overtime.
That's
over,
important
right?
for their clients. Yeah, we got to get everybody migrated onto
Yep.
Hawksoft 6, and then
That's right.
I think we're going to do some work. But
Sure.
it's super exciting. I've been wanting that one since I got here.
So when that integration takes place, because I'm sure it's gonna, when that integration takes place with Hawksoft, what is that? So you go on to Capital Premium Finance, you build your premium finance agreement, you give the client the link to pay. The client goes in there, chooses which one they want, they make the payment. You guys, they'll send it over to Cap Premium for you guys will send the money to Capital Premium if you want to do it that way, and then the policy's bound, and then that automatically will transport over and show up in your accounting feature inside of your agency management system. Then, like, you don't have to. And then that way, do you guys sync with QuickBooks too?
We do not sync with QuickBooks.
Okay.
But we do have a direct CSV file kind of upload into our accounting dashboards. You can take CSV files from systems like QuickBooks or anything else kind of generic, not really built specifically for insurance, and you can pop them into our ePay policy dashboard. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work with Hawksoft, but most of our two-way integrations work pretty similarly.
Yeah.
What we do is we add a couple extra fields to your payment page as the agency. The agent or the insured within these enter in these extra fields, usually like an account number and a zip code, just two pieces of information that we can query your system for to return information about that insured. We can then pull up all their outstanding invoices and display their invoices that are in your system right there on the page for the insured to make payments on. Then they can make those payments the same way they could with a normal ePay page, except now, since we know exactly what the payment's for and the invoice associated with the payment, we can go ahead and push those details of the payment back into your management system and say, hey, so-and-so made this payment. Here's the collection of payment information. It's associated with this invoice. Will you please put some human eyes on this and click approve for me? And in some cases, it'll post automatically. It really just depends on the system. There's a few differences for each system, and there's differences in vernacular, what the extra fields are called. But for the most part, that's how they work.
So, and you may have already touched on this, but so this is August 2023 right now, and this podcast is going to be up, indefinitely. So for agents listening to this in the future, you were talking about some features that are rolling out here in the next couple of months. Tell me about those.
Yeah, so this is a huge year for ePay policy. I came here 3 years ago, and we had been a single product organization for about 8 years. Okay. Within the last year and a half, we will have released 5 new products into the market space. So it's just crazy growth for us. And we've grown, I think, 3x in both revenue and with the number of employees since I've been here, number of partners and integrations, number of clients. It's been an incredible journey. But what we've got coming is the Finance Connect piece that we just talked about, where we're going to connect you to your existing premium finance company partners.
Yes.
Leveraging that network of ePay policy premium finance company customers so that your insureds can enroll in financing at the time of payment. We're also going to assist with that manual reconciliation aspect we talked about earlier, how that's one of the biggest pain points for really any entity. It can be agencies, MGAs, wholesalers, anybody's got problems having to manually reconcile that data. So what we do is we've actually built a tool that uses OCR technology that you can scan statements from these carriers or MGAs, and then we can use our OCR to match that up with the invoices inside of your management system and allow you to reconcile payments that way. So now we're helping you with your payments going out and reconciling those features. We've got another solution now. It's called Checkmate. This one's already in the marketplace, already integrated with several systems. What Checkmate is designed to do is capture any physical checks that are still coming to your office. Because we've got, I don't know how many payments you guys took when you were running the agency, but a lot of our larger customers, if they're taking, 500 payments or 500 checks coming in the office every month, they'll implement a system like ePay, and then that number drops to like 100 checks coming in the month. So we can't completely kill the paper check. There's still some holdouts there. So what we did is we used that OCR technology. We actually have you send the check to ePay Policy, one of our locations across the country, we stand up a lockbox service for you, and then we scan, digitize those checks, shoot you the reconciliation information for those. And if we're integrated with the management system, we can just go ahead and push that right back into the system for you. So now people may still be sending you physical paper checks, but to you, it's all digital and it comes in the same way.
Perfect. So anything that we've missed or that you should emphasize or anything like that to the agency owners listening right now about ePay Policy?
I think ePay is really just, if you take payments this way, if you have funds hitting your account before being sent off anywhere, it's really a no-brainer. So if you're taking a handful of checks, if you're taking 3 checks or 3,000 checks or 300 checks, ePay can help you out. And I would just encourage those folks to reach out to us. It takes maybe 10 minutes to go through a demo if we're integrated with your system. So it's lightning fast.
Well, and you can book the demo right on theinsurancestream.com. Just go to theinsurancestream.com, click on payment processing, and there's a link right there to book your demo.
Very nice. And cool thing about ePay is we're super cheap. We're either $25 or $50 if you're integrated into your system, and that's just per month. There's no contracts, no penalties to cancel, no setup fees. And if they're some of your podcast listeners, I think we can give them a couple extra months for free, just to test ePay out, make sure it's the right kind of fit for them.
Perfect. So after somebody goes and gets the demo and says, let's do it, how long does it take before they're able to process their first payment?
That depends on the agency or the MGA. It's really about how quickly you can get us the information that we request to stand up your account. A lot of it's like bank account details. Yeah.
Let's say I do that. Then how long does that? Let's say you email me and go, here's your stuff I need. I email it back 15 minutes later. How long until I'm live and I can start punching in credit card numbers?
I think you would schedule your onboarding with us at that time. And so if there's an onboarding call available that day, I mean, we can turn it around in 10 minutes if you've passed the underwriting and all those requirements. So It's really easy to light these up. And a lot of the integrations, it's kind of the same thing, right? How quickly can you get us those credentials that we need? Once we have that, maybe an hour, maybe a day, depending on the type of integration. But in most cases, we got a lightning fast turnaround as soon as we have the info that we need.
Super quick. I love it. Zach, thank you so much. Appreciate your time today. Again, you can go to theinsurancestream.com, click on payment processing. It's right under agency services there. And then you'll be getting an onboarding demo with somebody just like Zach. So we appreciate your time. And thank you so much for coming by.
Appreciate it, Ed. Thanks.
Thank you.